Hello my fun physics friends. Today we're going to have a look at some biology and some physics at the same time, and possibly a bit of chemistry too, because we're talking about respiration here, which is of course an
What's respiration?
Very good question. It's an exothermic reaction that gives heat energy out. So I'm sat on my bike, warming up now. I've got my HIIT intensity workout on the TV over there, and it does interval training. So I've spent a reasonable amount of my time in lockdown in the mornings when everybody's fast asleep still doing my HIIT intensity training sessions. It will make me require aerobic and anaerobic respiration.
What does that mean?
Well, aerobic respiration is what we're all doing now. It's what keeps people alive.
Is it breathing?
Yeah, press play, that'd be perfect. And that's a brilliant question. It's not breathing, and that's what everybody thinks. Breathing is gaseous exchange, which happens inside your lungs, which is on here, which we'll talk about in a minute. Respiration is a process where we have glucose and oxygen, glucose in our food and oxygen in the air that we breathe in, and we create energy, carbon dioxide and water vapour. That's aerobic respiration that you do every day. Now what keeps plants alive?
Is water vapour the stuff that comes out of a chimney? I mean like a kettle?
Yes, absolutely. So we do that, we create water vapour. If you blow onto a mirror, you get water vapour coming out. So what keeps plants alive?
Photosynthesis.
Right, perfect. Now, if you look at my bike here, I'm cycling on. I'm in the little ring at the front, and at the back I've got 7 different rings. Now, if I change gear, it's really easy at the moment, so I've got the same ratio of gears at the front and back. If I change gear, you can see
The chain goes into a different one.
the chain goes into the smaller one. Now, if I'm going round at the front once, it goes round more times at the back. It gets significantly harder, and I'm going to have to work harder. So what do I need to create more of? Energy. Very good. So if, when I get told to start my 30-second intense exercise on the program there, I would put it into a higher gear and I would start pedaling really hard for 30 seconds. Now what's going to happen to my heart rate?
It's going to go up.
Yeah, well it was on 60, it was on 80. Now if I'm pedaling along here, I've got my heart rate monitor. I'm very fit and healthy, look, because it's only on 88. So I'm not...
It's on 92 now.
93, 95.
Oh.
Should I try really, really hard?
Yeah!
Why does my heart rate need to go up?
Because you need to breathe more air and your body's working quicker.
I need to do more air, more oxygen into my lungs so I can respire more aerobically. But if it gets to the point where I can't breathe any harder and I can't get any more oxygen,
you'll give up.
I might have to respire anaerobically. So
I think it's been like 30 seconds.
I might have to respire anaerobically. So now my body's using glucose. It hasn't got enough oxygen. There's no oxygen. It's breaking down the glucose to make some lactic acid. I'm on 109, 110. So I'm quite good. If you do vigorous exercise, you've not got enough energy, so you have to respire anaerobically as well as aerobically. Now, when I was doing my degree, I did a lot of this sort of stuff. Sit down. And I did a lot of training studies for the British Heart Foundation. So with fat and peak lung capacity, which is that thing there. So if I could have my lung capacity meter, that thing there, this is the peak flow, so you can easily measure your peak flow. Now, it's not very good because I'm exercising at the same time. I should reduce my gears, change the ratios, and this is a peak flow meter, so I'll start with it at 0. All you have to do, take a really deep breath and breathe out, so then... Now if you look at that, it's gone up to about
450.
450, which is pretty good. I'm reasonably fit and healthy. I haven't got anything that would affect my lungs, like asthma. If I was asthmatic, I'd have a reduced peak flow, so I'd have less oxygen going into my body. So I'd be able to respire less aerobically, so I'd have to start anaerobic respiration quicker to get the same amount of energy in. Now there's a point where you get to a lactate threshold where you've got too much lactic acid in your body because you've been respiring too much anaerobically, and that means you get cramp and it really hurts and you'll end up with very sore muscles the day afterwards. Now plants do respire at night time when there's no light. They respire anaerobically sometimes too, but they don't make lactic acid. They're going to make ethanol, to make alcohol. and they just turn glucose into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Now,
Cool.
when I'm exercising, I need more energy, so I have to increase my cardiac output. So I have to change my stroke volume and times it by my heart rate. Now, the stroke volume is how big my heart is. Now, I've got an excellent picture here of my heart. The blood, the deoxygenated blood, will come in the vena cava to the right atrium. It will go through into the right ventricle, and then my sinoatrial node, electrical impulse, comes through and pushes the blood up to my lungs. In the lungs, you've got lots of these little alveoli sacs where gaseous exchange takes place. That's the breathing bit. So the oxygen diffuses into the red blood cells, lovely, which is just here, and carbon dioxide diffuses from the plasma into the alveoli, and it gets back through gaseous exchange through those thin membranes into your lungs, and then you can breathe it out. Now, you've done quite a lot of stuff to do with arteries, veins, capillaries. I can increase my stroke volume by doing loads of exercise and making my heart bigger. And if I do that, the chambers in the heart get bigger. So every time my heart beats, there's a greater amount of volume there, so my heart rate will be low when I'm exercising. I'm pedaling and I think I'm working reasonably hard, and my heart rate's only 84. But I'm also trying to talk to you, and I do pedal my bike quite a lot, and I like to run. However, if my cardio output wants to go up, because I need to make more energy by respiration, I would have to pedal harder and harder and harder. I'd have to use aerobic respiration and some anaerobic respiration. I would reach my lactate threshold, where there's too much lactic acid building up in my muscles, and then I would have to run out of energy and I would get cramp and I would give up, as Debbie said, rightly so. Remember, your blood is predominantly made of 50% plasma. It carries your red blood cells. Now, I've got a pulse oximeter somewhere, which goes on my finger. Now, I can measure the percentage oxygen saturation of each red blood cell and my heart rate by popping this on my finger. It's like magic, to be fair. I've turned it on. It's just going to wait a minute. You can see I'm alive because the numbers are moving up and down there. The line's moving up and down. So that will measure how many oxygen molecules are in each red blood cell. Now, if it's fully saturated, there's 100. Now, if I have to respire anaerobically as well, it might be slightly less.
85, 99.
So 85 is my current heart rate, and 99 is my percentage oxygen saturation. So that's quite high, because it's as a percentage. So most of my red blood cells are full of oxygen, okay? So I'm doing quite a good job, and I'm not creating any lactic acid to get cramp. Remember, you've got platelets in your blood as well, and your, I like to remind a bit like a Pac-Man, your white blood cells, because the vast majority of the digestion engulf your bacteria in your body to keep you healthy, so they're part of your immune system. Right, last thing about respiration. If I had a reduced cardiac output, what would that happen to the energy I could get from my muscles?
I think you'll get less.
I would definitely get less. So if I was going to start here and I was going to pedal really, really hard, I was going to increase my gears. So I've got the ratios that are different. I'm going to be smaller at the back, bigger at the front. It's going to be more difficult to talk. My heart rate would increase because I need more oxygen to flow around my body. I need more respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Got my 30-second effort. He's doing a good job there.